What's going on, people? Welcome back to another YouTube video. It's been a while since I have uploaded a personal video to the channel, so I figure, hey, why not do it today? So you are going to see in this video just some footage from today's leg day, so nothing too extravagant we're going to talk about with that workout, but it was a good one. Worked up to some really good hack squat sets that I was happy with, which you will see here shortly. 520 pounds for 3x6. So really happy with that. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. And as you can see by the thumbnail, probably the reason you clicked this video is a subject I want to touch on, which is the bodybuilding dimmer switch. And, this is something that I've worked on throughout my competitive career. It's something that I talk to clients about. It's something that I've talked to my coach, Cliff, about. And it's the idea that you can't run at that red line, you can't run 100 miles an hour forever. This game, people say it's a marathon, not a sprint, and this kind of idea of the dimmer switch really emphasizes that. So with bodybuilding, it's really glamorized to be grinding 24/7, no missed meals, no missed workouts, everything's to a T, 24/7, 365, no matter what, rain, shine, snow, vacation, holiday, Christmas, birthday, nothing gets missed. And the truth is, for 99% of people, not only is that not the case, but it's probably best to not try to do that if you're invested in this for the long term. So when it comes to really anything, any venture, there's going to be times when you can, crank the switch up a little bit and turn the switch down a little bit, depending on the situation you're in, depending on the life circumstances you're in, and for bodybuilding, depending on the phase you're in. So when it comes to, let's talk about contest prep. When you start a prep, you're not going 100 miles an hour right out of the gate. If you are, you've probably done something wrong. But, you're not just slashing your calories down to, nothing but protein and vegetables and doing an hour of cardio on the Stairmaster right from day one. What you're going to do is slowly chip away at that and slowly taper your calories down, slowly add cardio in as you need to get the desired result on stage. But when you're trying to make the most out of this and get through this long term, and if we're talking about prep, you're going to slowly turn that dial up, right? You're going to slowly increase that dimmer switch to where you're going 60%, 70%, 80%. By the time you're getting through that last stint of prep and competing, you're all in 100%. No, nothing's left to chance, right? So I think it's important to recognize that kind of stuff, because a lot of people get disheartened when they don't nail every little thing, right? And I think this is definitely fueled by social media, where you're following people who always seem to be weighing everything to the gram, and they're hitting every single workout, and every workout's PRs and progress and no missed meals, and their sleep is on point, and their stress is on point, and they're getting their steps in. Like, it's sometimes exhausting to watch, to be honest. And this is someone who is a avid competitor and coach. But I think realizing that there's times when you can just turn it down a little bit. You don't have to be this monotonous, robotic bodybuilder 24/7 to get results. And I think if you follow and learn from people that have been in this for a long time, they will tell you that very same thing, right? It's not the people that have been bodybuilding for 20 or 30 years that are behaving this way. And, if you kind of broaden your horizons, you would see that the people that are, young up and comers who, maybe have only been competing for a year, or they're getting ready for their first show, or they're trying to get this, character across on social media. And again, I'm not saying that like nobody's like this, because I know people that are very much I'm a bodybuilder and nothing else matters, and everything they do in a day in their lives is very much tailored to bodybuilding. But coming from someone who is married, who runs a business, who works a normal job, who has a child on the way, and then has bodybuilding aspirations, there's times when it's the dimmer switch is very much turned down. You know what I mean? If we're gonna go on vacation, or if we're going on a holiday, or if it's a birthday or a celebration, I'm in the off season. I'm not gonna worry about tracking everything to the gram. I'm not gonna worry about weighing all my food and making sure I nail my macros to a T, especially when I'm, a year and a half away from the stage, right? This is not the time to stress. This is not the time to worry about having every single variable checked off. And that's, for me, I can sleep at night knowing that I've operated through that kind of lens. Some people really, really struggle with that, and early on in my competitive career, I used to, and maybe it's just me kind of getting older and maturing and life circumstances changing, but I can say that 21, 22-year-old Leroy, who was just getting his feet wet in competing, really struggled with separating during and turning down that dimmer switch, trying to switch off a little bit and rest and relax and not be so fixated on nailing everything, because I thought that if I didn't perfect everything every single day, every single week, every single month for a year, I thought I was going to leave a significant amount of progress on the table, and you know that would translate on stage with not getting the desired outcome on stage. And fast forward to now, I'm 30. Next year is my 10th anniversary with competing, and I can tell you confidently that that's not the case. I don't think I mean, it's impossible to say, like, have I left some results on the table? Maybe. But has it been enough to substantially derail my progress? Definitely not. But also, it's learning this dimmer switch mentality has helped me just enjoy quality of life more, right? Like, I've been able to go for dinners and celebrations and not worry about this is more carbs than I should be eating, or this isn't as much protein as I should be having, or whatever. I can separate and enjoy the time when necessary. And then when it's time to prep again, obviously we start to crank things up a little bit. At the beginning of prep, maybe we, plan a dinner out once a week, my wife and I'm going to get, an intelligent meal with, a protein source and a good quality carb and some vegetables, but I'm still going out for dinner and enjoying that time with her. And then as time goes on, those things slow down. Maybe it's not so much going to family dinners and having whatever. Maybe I bring my own meal, or at least bring a scale and measure everything out. And then as it gets later and later into prep, those things start to go to the wayside a little bit. And, certain sacrifices have to be made. But that's with anything where, if you're trying to achieve something, there's going to be sacrifices that come with that. But I think it's important to realize that there's times when those sacrifices might not be necessary and might even be detrimental. You know what I mean? Like, we've all seen people or heard of people that have lost relationships because of bodybuilding, or lost employment because of bodybuilding, because they've been unable to turn that switch down and just be, quote unquote, a normal person for a little while, and let their bodybuilding just kind of live there subtly and not necessarily be at the forefront. I think that the dimmer switch mentality is helpful because it's never off. Like, you will probably always train, you know, in some form or fashion. You will still be conscious of your nutrition in some form or fashion, and have certain lifestyle habits and routines, like not binging on alcohol, or not pulling out all-nighters for the sake of it. I think there's certain habits that will be conducive to bodybuilding that will always be present, but the ones that you can get away with, toning down a little bit, like being as robotic with your nutrition, or as fixated on doing all these small little things that in the grand scheme of things probably don't matter as much. You can forego those things for certain periods of time and just kind of be present and more available in other areas of your life. And that, I think, is going to support things from a longevity perspective. It's probably going to, for most people, aid in the overall enjoyment factor. Like, I know for me, if I had to operate on prep how I do, and I had to do that 24/7, 365 for my entire life, I would probably really steer away from bodybuilding long term. But for myself, I'm able to kind of hone in and lock in when I need to for the duration of my contest prep and crank things up over time. And then after the show is over, put a conscious effort into dialing that down a little bit and putting emphasis and effort into other areas of my life that need attention and that bring me different forms of joy and fulfillment and overall life satisfaction. And then when it's time to prep again, as of recording this, I'm 9 months or so away from anticipating contest prep starting again for the 2025 season. And I am very ready and excited for that to happen because I've had the last, since, this time in 2022 almost, I've had time to turn it down a little bit and still, have my bodybuilding goals be present, but again, give focus and attention to other areas of my life. And then now that I've done that, I'm mentally, physically, like fresh and excited and ready to go and again turn that switch up when the time comes. So that's that subject matter. That's enough of me rambling. If you guys like this little video, if you guys want to hear more topics like this discussed, let me know, because it's something that I think is important for people to hear this kind of stuff and not think that every single person is this kind of robot, because I don't think that's an accurate representation. As much as it might seem like that online, I don't think that's necessarily true. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate the support as always. Subscribe for future videos, whether it's through me, through Natty News, or whatever we post. And we'll see you guys in the next one.